sunflower guys.
Mm-hmm. What are we harvesting today? So just a few days ago when we were harvesting corn, I was talking about how impatient I was to wait for these cucumbers. And then yesterday, my husband went by and said that there was fresh cucumbers. So we're out here today and gonna see. I think they already picked one or two yesterday because my kids are more impatient than I am. So these are the cucumbers that I started from seed out here. And they actually came up faster, stronger, and have fruit on them. Whereas the ones that I actually put out as plants have fried up from the sun and gave me nothing. They were just too little when we first put all the seeds and everything out here, and I had just those few plants, and they just got fried up from the sun. The weather here's been so crazy. Super hot, super wet, super crazy. But these are the cucumbers that we started as seeds out here. They're getting nice and big, flowers all over, and I didn't even realize the other day that we have cucumbers on there. So there's cucumbers here ready to pick. So we're gonna go ahead. It's got a nice pale spot from where it's been sitting and growing on the ground, and we're gonna go ahead and pick it and let the kids have a bite.
Oh, I found something. A pear. Pear.
What you think?
Good.
Good? So apparently the cucumbers are good. Always best to harvest your cucumbers a little early as opposed to a little late, because once one goes really big and yellow on the vine, then your vine's gonna stop producing because it's already in. We're going to seed mode to make more for next year. So we just have a couple here. There's one or two more on the vine. Oh, 3 on the vine that we're gonna go ahead and grab so that the vine just keeps producing. It's another one that when you finally do get fruit on it, it's like beans. You just keep getting more and more and more as long as you stay up on the harvesting of them. So, all right, you're gonna go get it. So harvest your cucumbers often and check them a lot. So just when we were getting impatient about thinking that everything was taking too long, we finally got something again just a couple days later after the corn. And actually the few cobs that I left on the corn are already starting to look a little darker in the silk as well. That's right, silk. I remembered what it was called this time. Whoa, what'd you find? What do you think it is?
I don't know.
Ah.
Big.
It is big. So we had something else hiding in the garden, didn't we?
Can I pull it? Can I pull it off?
Yeah, I think it might be ready to pull off. Let me go grab something to get it. Our little man just found one more ripe thing in the garden. We've got squash. I forgot about this because, again, this was the plant that was given to me. So I went ahead and put it kind of in the corner in the garden because it wasn't anything I was planning on growing. But I thought, hey, free food is free food. So we went ahead and planted it, and this thing's huge. It's huge. Look at the size of this. This is the only one. Oh, nope, there is another one that's just not ripe yet. It hasn't gotten big. These plants are really big. Honestly, I don't do squash in my main garden a lot because their plants are so big. And with gourds and pumpkins, a lot of times I've had those where they have quite a few on the vine. There's another one deep down in there. But for the most part, other style of squash, this and the butternut, all grow pretty big vines and plants and take up a lot of space, even though you're just getting a couple things out of it. So I don't do zucchini a lot, and I don't do squash in the garden because of how big their plants are. So I usually have separate gardens for them. But again, this was another plant that my neighbor gave me before I had anything planted. And as you can see, I have some smaller ones coming up on it. But again, I just always feel like their plants are awful big for the lower amount of harvest I feel I get for it. But I think I let this one get a little too big. So we're gonna get this off the vine. Hopefully I haven't told this one to stop growing things because of letting this one go so far. But we're gonna get it off and we're gonna see how the kids like this one. So we've got a huge zucchini ready here, actually well past ready. They say that you should actually harvest them when they're smaller, like not much bigger than the one that we have here, if you want your plant to keep producing over and over again. It's just like with cucumbers. So if we want all of these flowers to become future zucchini, then we need to cut them off well before they get to this size here. We're gonna go ahead, we're gonna cut this one off, and we'll just use it to open and cook something in to help it get a little more tender. But again, you wanna cut them much smaller. So we have another zucchini under here. Look at this, massive. We are waiting way too long to cut these. These zucchini would have been perfect time to harvest just those few days ago. Now they're pretty huge, so hopefully they haven't stopped their plants from producing or wanting to produce, because those are pretty massive. Go ahead and stop. So hopefully we didn't wait too long on those. These are really big plants, which is why I don't usually do squash plants in the main garden. But hopefully I didn't wait too long and make it so they weren't going to produce too many. I always like to go through and take a few of their leaves off too, just to open it up, air it out, and give them room for the sun. This plant's laying over so much from all of the heat and the size of the last zucchini, so I'm not gonna worry about taking a lot of leaves off of that one. But yeah, we had more to harvest. We had zucchini. That's sweet. We've got carrots too. So like I said, just as we were getting impatient and feeling like we weren't getting a lot of things, there's all of a sudden so much coming to ripening in the garden, and it finally feels like, okay, we did it. We're here. We've got things to eat, things to pick. So get out there and check your garden, guys, because just when you think you're still gonna have to wait a few weeks for things, you all of a sudden go out and find a whole bunch of good stuff. Whoa. And lots of good bugs too.